Welcome, coaches and fans, to the CSAC Women's Volleyball Coaches Fireside Chat. It's part of the CSAC Raise Your Game program. My name is Wes Suffelman, and I am the CSAC Women's Volleyball Sports Chair, and I also serve as the Director of Athletics at Clark Summit University. Tonight, we will engage with our 11 women's volleyball coaches to get to know them a little better and have some fun. We posted a hashtag on social media as a way for you, the fans, to get your questions answered by our coaches. So stay tuned to see if we ask your question live a little bit later. All right, let's get started by having our coaches introduce themselves. We'll go in alphabetical order by institution. So Dennis from Bernathen, you're up first. Dennis, can you tell us your name, the school you're at, how many years you've been coaching at the school, and share with us your favorite athletic memory, either from your playing days or from the sidelines.
How are you? Great, thanks for having us all tonight. My name is Dennis Hibbs. I am Bernathen's head coach. I've been in the conference 5 years, head coach for 4. And my greatest memory is probably making the playoffs, conference playoffs for the first time in school history.
Whitney, you're up next.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Whitney Seidel. I'm the head coach at Cairn University. This is if we're counting this year as a coaching year, this is my 4th year coaching at Cairn. My favorite memory as an athlete probably would be making it to England's version of the NCAA tournament when I played overseas there at the University of Oxford. As a coach, our Dig Pink events, especially last year's, as we had a freshman athlete whose mom had breast cancer. So it was really cool to run one of those events that meant so much to us personally.
Shelby, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Shelby Morgan. I'm Cedar Crest's volleyball coach. This would have been my 6th season. My favorite memory, there's a lot of them. I think it's every practice with my team, but we'll go, I think 2018 when we made playoffs for the first time in a few years at Cedar Crest. So that really set the bar for us.
All right, Lee.
Hi, I'm Lee Clowers. I'm the coach at Centenary University. This will be my first year, my 2nd stint at Centenary. My favorite coaching memory was in 2016 when I coached in the state final in New Jersey.
Very nice, very nice. Eleni.
Hi there, I'm Eleni Banks. I am the women's volleyball coach at Clark Summit University. This would have been my 1st year coaching at Clark Summit University. Obviously, it's been a weird year, so but I've gotten to know the girls. It's been a lot of fun. I would say my favorite coaching memory would probably have to be from one of my previous teams, since I haven't got to do much with this team yet. We pulled off a big upset and we made it to the championship game that we were a part of. So that was pretty exciting.
All right, Allison.
Hi, I'm Allison Regan at Keystone, and this would have been my 2nd season there. And I would say my favorite memory coaching was probably last year when we beat Notre Dame in the regular season. It was a really big win. I had to bribe them with Panera, so I realized that I'm going to have to do that every game now. So
that was an expensive win.
It was.
Henry, go ahead. You can get even here with your memory.
Yeah, well, now I know her secret weapon, so I'll make sure we close those shops up in the area. This would have been my 14th season. Sorry, I'm Henry from Notre Dame of Maryland University, and this is season 14 for me. I would say my favorite memory as far as the first CSAC championship. It was really special, felt magical. It had been a long time being here, 14 years. When that first one happened, it was a little weight off the shoulders.
Very nice. I'm sure every coach here would like to have that weight taken off their shoulders. So, Andrew, you're up next.
Hey, I'm Andrew Lee. I'm the head coach for Rosemont College. It's going to be my 1st year coaching, so kind of new to everything. So I guess my favorite memory is definitely as a player, just going to nationals, USAD nationals every year, adult nationals and just having fun playing there. So
Mhm. All right, Nicole.
Nicole Bolash, St. Elizabeth University. This would have been my second season. My favorite coaching memory for these girls was beating FDU last season on our home court with max capacity gym. It was crowded and they're our neighbors, so it's kind of like a big rivalry for us.
Yes, very nice, very nice. And last but not least, Katie.
Hi, my name is Katie Barnett, head coach at Wilson College, also my second season. And one of my favorite memories with the team was definitely making it to the semifinals. And with that, we got our first volleyball banner hung in our gymnasium. So that was just a really excited and proud moment for me as a first-time head coach, as well as for the team, just to have that success kind of shown off in our gym.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, thanks everyone. Now it's time to get into our questions. I want to hear from you, but we want to make sure we mix it up a bit. So I'll call on you for your response to each question. So question one, what do you enjoy most about being part of the CSAC? All right, so Shelby, we're going to kick it off to you.
Yeah, I actually had the opportunity to play in the CSAC before I coached, so very familiar with it. I really like, I would say there's two things. The location of our schools is, I think, attractive. We're pretty close to each other for most of us. But then the second thing is the community. I think we have a great community. Our student athletes could really be involved. If they choose to be, there's a lot of opportunity for them.
All right, Allison, you're next.
I really like that. I think it's pretty diverse, and I feel like every college here has its own identity. I think we're, pretty similar, but we all have our differences, and I feel like that we can all get along too. I feel like I talk to the majority of you before each match. We get along, it's very friendly, and that's what I love about the CSAC. We can still go hard at each other on the court, but after the game, before the game, it's great to chat with you guys and kind of learn a bunch of different things from you guys, since 2019 was my first time as a head coach. So.
No, very, very cool, Allison. I like that. I like that a lot. I think other sports could say the same thing as well. Henry, how about you?
Yeah, it's sort of twofold. Definitely the kids that play in this conference for sure. I think they compete really hard, but they're very respectful to each other. I know with my team, like when we kind of debrief after a match, they'll talk about, how hard the other team played or how well they played and what was tough about them. And, I think it's a great atmosphere in general. And I've been around long enough to coach or against some of the coaches that are on here who played in the CSAC. So I think that's pretty cool as well.
Andrew, what do you got for us? One of our first year coaches.
So very limited experience, but so far for CSAC, I think that you guys are very supportive of, everything going on situation wise. COVID happened and we weren't, CSAC wasn't very quick to do, like no premature decisions, kind of thought things out before anything happened. So it was very cool to be part of that experience.
Very good, very good. Lee, how about you?
I like the flexibility. Like Andrew said, we weren't one of the first conferences to jump on the bandwagon and cancel the season. We waited it out. We were thoughtful in our approach, and it's carried over to the winter sports. We're not just going to make a snap decision. We're going to look at what's best for the student athletes.
Mm-hmm. Dennis?
Really big on the community as well. All the coaches, I think I have the same answer as Allison, where we have good relationship with everybody. We get a chance to chat before and after games, even on the recruiting trail at tournaments and everything like that when we bump into one another, which is really cool. Also, just the resources that our conference has, both just nationally on that scale, as well as just within our own conference for all of our student athletes and the coaches as well.
Katie, did I skip you? I think I skipped you. Yeah, go ahead. My apologies.
You're good. Yeah, kind of piggybacking what everyone else has said, being my first season last year and my first time being a head coach in general is definitely a little bit nerve-wracking coming into matches, and the community of our coaches was really reassuring, and the sportsmanship from all the coaches and all the teams just made the experience really great, and proud to be part of a group of professional coaches that are really in it for the student athletes.
Whitney, what can you add to our group of answers?
Yeah, so like Shelby, I got the chance to be a student athlete and a coach in the CSAC, so I've been around longer than just the 4 years that I've been here coaching. Something that's always stood out to me is just how competitive our conference is from top to bottom. On any given night, both teams have a chance to come out there and really compete and have a chance to win. I think you see that reflected in a lot of the scores, regular season upsets, different teams making it to playoffs in the past couple of years. It's a really fun conference to play in because my kids always know that they're never out of a game. And then just echo what everyone else has said, the community of coaches is awesome. A lot of us got our start coaching in the CSAC and have found a real community and a place where we can grow and support each other as coaches, which has been awesome as a first-time head coach myself a couple of years ago.
Nicole, you're next.
So when we joined the CSAC, that was my first year coaching compared to our previous, which the conference was very far and the traveling was a lot of distance. Thankfully, I didn't have to do that. But I do agree with all of you, especially Allison with the diversity and everyone else with the community. It's especially right now with doing these types of events, it's great to get everyone involved during these challenging times.
And Eleni, you are the last one for question one. Go ahead.
So I haven't had the privilege of having a game in the conference yet, but kind of piggybacking off of what everyone else has said, I've definitely seen that the conference cares about the student athletes, and they're really trying to push to give them the best experience possible, even under the circumstances. So I have really appreciated that thus far. And just from what I've, seen in the past or looked into, I do feel like the competition level is very even, which is really great for conference play. It really pushes each team to be better. And so that's what I would say.
Coaches, great answers for question one. A lot of good insight there. Let's move on to question number two. Name one fact about your athletic background that your team doesn't know. All right, so Lee, we're going to kick it off with you. Lee, I think you're on mute.
That I played basketball, one of the founding members of the CSAC at Cabrini.
Who was that?
Coach John Zeke was there back in the 80s.
Okay. Nicole, you're next.
I would say most of my athletes know mostly everything about me because they always ask questions. But I definitely play in several adult sports leagues still. We just won our co-ed hockey championship a few weeks ago, and I was supposed to have women's flag football championship for Tournament of Champs this weekend, but it got postponed and we're ranked number 1. And the winner of that gets a bid to nationals in Florida.
Is that going to be made up?
Yes, it definitely will be.
Well, good. Well, best of luck to you. I'll have to follow up and see how you guys do.
Thanks.
Whitney, go ahead.
Yeah, like Nicole, I think a lot of my athletes know most everything about me. I'm a pretty open book. But probably that I was also recruited to play soccer at Cairn. I was a goalkeeper in high school. The soccer coach reached out just a couple of days after the volleyball coach had started talking to me. So I went to a small Christian high school. You could play both volleyball and soccer. There were different seasons, but in college you couldn't do that. So I said no to the soccer coach, and I think that was the right decision.
Oh, that had to be an awkward conversation, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. Wires got crossed there. They weren't communicating.
Oh, man. Henry, go ahead. You're next.
Yeah, it's probably been about 6 years since I've been able to step on the court, but mine's a little bit the same as Andrew's. It's, that I did get to play in the national tournaments, and that I think it was about 8 years ago, maybe God, maybe now 10 years ago, that my team actually won one of the tournaments out there, which was a lot of fun.
Nice. Nice. Shelby, what can you tell us that your athletes don't know about you?
Very similar to Whitney's. I was recruited to play softball for Keystone, and the coach at the time was the softball and volleyball coach. And I said, how about I just play volleyball for you? So that's kind of how that.
Okay. Eleni, you're next.
I was trying to think of something that they didn't know, and I don't think they know that I did get a yellow card once in a game, which I thought might surprise them, but now I'm not so sure. We'll see. They might not be surprised by that.
Oh man, I have to hear that full story then
Yeah.
afterwards. That's gonna be a good one. Dennis, go ahead. You're up.
Mine was non-volleyball related, so we're going to go with freshman year of high school. I had a brief discussion with a Major League Baseball scout from the Atlanta Braves. So, but then I chose not to play baseball anymore and just.
That discussion ended real quick, I guess.
Yep.
Andrew, go ahead.
So I don't think a lot of girls know that my assistant coach and I, we play on the same men's adult team. We play at a professional level in America, so we travel around a lot. We play all over the country, and it's pretty fun. So
That sounds a lot of fun. I wish I was young enough to still go around and travel and play, but not anymore. Katie, go ahead.
Also non-volleyball related, but I went to the University of Tampa and got my degree in sport management. And one of my internships that I did was with the Tampa Bay Lightning, the NHL team down there, which was a really cool experience being able to be around that. And I also got to do some volunteer things at Amalie Arena as well. And one of them was volunteering with the NCAA Women's Final Four and getting to be courtside watching UConn win when Brianna Stewart was there. Got a selfie with Brianna Stewart with the championship net hung around her. And I also got to meet Tom Cruise there as well because his daughter was a fan. So it was a really cool experience being down in Tampa, getting to be around all of the sports and things that go on there.
Yeah, that sounds like a night you'll never forget.
For sure.
And lastly, Allison, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like everybody said it. My players know everything about me, unfortunately. So I guess I did an internship junior year of college with my SID. So it was nice to see the other side of athletics because I'm just used to coaching and at that point just playing volleyball. So it was nice to see the other side. I did ran the Twitter for them, Instagram, took some pictures. So it was a fun time. I definitely enjoyed it.
Good. That does sound like a lot of fun. So you got some good answers there. Let's move on to question number 3. How would your team describe you in one word? All right. So Henry, we're gonna pass that one to you and let you start that one off.
One word. Okay. I think it would be caring.
Karen?
Definitely coaching here. It's much more about the girls than it is just wins and losses, for sure.
Absolutely. Eleni, go ahead.
I was afraid you were going to ask me at the beginning. That's a tough one. I almost asked them what I thought. I guess I would hope they would say, something like motivating, somebody who really pushes them to do better and become better athletes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Whitney, one word that your team would use to describe you.
Well, Eleni, I did ask my athletes because I didn't know how to answer this question myself. And I got a couple of responses from them. One of them said passionate, another said perceptive. So I guess I'll go with those.
Okay. Dennis, how about you?
I think they would say goofy, maybe. I like to keep things pretty light. We play music at the beginning of practice and don't know why, but the music just takes me over and I always get a little dancey in the gym every once in a while. So yeah, goofy.
Well, I hope your SID puts that on Instagram sometime. I think that would get a lot of likes.
That's all closed doors only.
Andrew, go ahead. What would your team? What one word would your team use to describe you?
I think they would say I'm competitive. I always want to win, so that's just how it is.
I think a lot of coaches could use that word. Allison, what one word would your team use to describe you?
I guess I would say enthusiastic. And I can't sit down during a game. So, I mean, like I'm in it. Everybody knows that. Maybe a second choice would be yellow card. I'm not really sure. It might be up there for discussion, but no, I'm kidding. Definitely enthusiastic.
Lee, how about you?
I'm going to go with organized.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate on that?
I just think the change in coaching and the methodology and the way things are done, it was just a change, and they were surprised to see that I'm very organized. Everything has its own proper place, and we do things in a certain way, and within the boundaries of what we want to do.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm sure that's good. Katie, how about you? One word that your team would use to describe you.
Yeah, I would say focused, and that's just kind of touches on everything during matches and just on their progress and on their goals, and just kind of always have a focus and always have a purpose as to what we're doing and why.
Mm-hmm. Shelby, go ahead.
Yeah, I asked my team too, because I was a little nervous of what I was coming up with and how I really felt. But most of them said motivational. So that made me happy. I'm emotional, I was going to go with. I care a lot about them, and they know that. I wear my heart on my sleeve. So, but one of those is fine.
And lastly, Nicole, how about you?
I was between two, but I would say aggressive. I always push them to risk take and push each other to the best of their ability, especially even like off the court and in the weight room and on the court and during academics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to question number 4. What do you like to do in your downtime or to blow off steam? And Nicole, we're going to send it right back to you.
So I like to work out. I'm very active. My team knows that I probably work out more than they do. And I also, my downtime, I like to do 1,000-piece puzzles.
Ooh.
There's one thing I like to do.
A lot of patience there. Oh man, I get too angry. Katie, go ahead.
So I actually started college as an art major. So in my free time, I like to paint and draw and do photography as well. And outside of that, spending time with my husband, we like to travel a lot. And I'm also really into musicals. So kind of show tunes are my thing, and enjoy the arts side of life as well.
Very nice. Lee, you're next.
Hanging out with my dog and rabbit.
Okay. Whitney, how about you?
All right. I don't have a ton of downtime at the moment. I'm finishing up my master's degree, so that's all of my downtime is going to writing and researching. But when I'm not doing that, watch a lot of Netflix, watch any Philly sports that are on at the moment. I like finding new places to drink coffee. And then in the spring, I took up hiking at a state park near my apartment. When gyms were closed and couldn't get into the gym, I was like, why don't you go outside? So that's become something of a hobby for me.
Dennis.
Yeah, I'm a big outdoorsy guy. So camping, hiking, snowmobiling, snowboarding, ATVs, all that good stuff. Enjoy the outdoors and explore.
Very good. Shelby, how about you?
Yeah, I'm active. I can't play with my team anymore, though. I'm too old and out of shape. But I like being active. But I would really say I'm a family person. I like spending time with my family.
Henry, how about you?
So I'm a big sports fan, so I go to a lot of the events when they were happening and when you could go. Also, I think Lee and I probably share a time frame there. I'm a big rock concert person. So again, something that got taken away by COVID. But so yeah, I like to go to events and things like that.
Very nice. Allison, you're next.
I've been coaching club in the off time since I definitely have a little more time now. We started doing stuff in October, so that's been nice. Been taking up a little bit of the volleyball time. And then in the kind of like my downtime, I've been listening to some volleyball podcasts. Just kind of, I want to learn some new things. So Get the Pancake and The Sideline are my two that I've been listening to, just to get some new ideas and get some new looks on some different things. So it's been awesome.
Elaney, how about you?
I've got two adorable, energetic little boys that I spend most of my time with. And my husband's also kind of like a little boy sometimes. So I spend most of my free time with them, which I love. But then I also, if I have free time and I'm able to, I'm also trying to get involved playing sports. I also coach a high school basketball team too. So I try to stay active as well.
And Andrew, why don't you wrap up this question for us?
Free time, basically, I'm just playing volleyball either. We practice with the men's team during the week. Weekends, I'm playing tournaments, either like quads or I'm playing sixes. So something.
All right. Question number 5. Who is your sports mentor and why? And Andrew, you get to start us off on this one.
I think my sports mentor is this guy named Justin Beaumont. He's the head coach for NJCU. He kind of just came out of nowhere and just developed a bunch of teams and grew a club up there, Side Out Sports, and he developed the adult men's team, a pro team up there as well. So he taught me a lot, and he's a great mentor.
Very cool. Allison, let's kick it off to you. Sports mentor.
I would have to say my college coach, Amanda Allion. I transferred to Manhattanville my junior season, and she really just pushed me to be better on and off the court. When I transferred in, my GPA was super low. She basically had to get me into the school, and she just really pushed me and kind of showed me that I can be better than what I was doing. And I always appreciate her for that. And she really got me into coaching, and I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her.
No, very cool, Allison. Nicole, how about you?
Well, I really couldn't pick just one. So I have 3. I have 2 colleagues. So I'm actually a full-time health and physical education teacher for a high school. So I have Heidi Hintz, was one of my basketball and softball coaches in high school, and she's also one of my colleagues. I just talk to her all the time about coaching techniques with her, and we also happen to share an office. Then I also have Tony McCoskey, who was my teacher in high school as well, and he's been one of my mentors at the high school, and he's big on strength training. So him and I do a lot of strength training clinics, and we pretty much run everything with that. And then I would have to say my college coach that I had at Kean University, Don Perkins, who has built that program up very, very much since he's been there. When I actually hired him back my junior year, he has expanded my volleyball network and has helped me a lot through all this process.
Henry, you're next.
Yeah, I couldn't come up with one either, and so mine are really more people I watched play sports. Being from here in Baltimore, if you don't mention Cal Ripken, somebody might come after me. So for the way he played the game and the consistency and dedication, but I also look at people who kind of played the game their way and used their mind games kind of thing. And you think of somebody like a Muhammad Ali who was truly gifted, but really did a lot of the work before he even stepped into the ring. So, I think I take a little piece from different athletes, different coaches, but, to me, I can't name one that I say that was my mentor.
Mm-hmm. Elaney, you're next.
Yeah, I can't really choose just one because I feel like I've had different ones during different points of my life, starting from when I first started playing, when my parents were my coaches, to, playing college basketball and volleyball. I had the privilege of having lots of different coaches. And so each one of them kind of taught me something different that I feel like has helped me as I've become a coach myself. So I can't really give one person credit. It's kind of been a combination of all of their techniques together.
Mhm. Whitney, how about you?
Yeah, kind of like what other people have said, I've been kind of mentored by committee. There's a group of ladies that work for Fellowship of Christian Athletes who have put together like a female college coaches group that we started this summer. And that's been incredible for me just to be involved with a bunch of other female head coaches. As a young female head coach myself, it's just been so reassuring to know that I belong in that group and can bring my ideas to the table and things like that. And then the women's basketball coach here at Cairn, actually, Miriam Hartzler, when they hired her a couple of years ago, it was just so beneficial for me to have another full-time female head coach on campus. And I spend most of my days in her office, and we get to bounce ideas off of each other. We share coaching strategies. We share athletes. Sometimes I push my taller players to go play basketball for her, and we recruit together. And like I said, it's just been so valuable to be surrounded by other female head coaches that we could really form this alliance and kind of move forward together.
Katie, how about you?
I would say my sport mentor is definitely my dad, Scott Pennywill. I just grew up in the sport. He was a collegiate coach and for volleyball and coached at all 3 divisions. So my growing up was basically spent in a gymnasium, shagging balls, wanting to be like the college athletes, and kind of seeing him from the sidelines in his element. I just thought that was the coolest thing ever, and learned a lot from him without knowing it at the time. And then in college, when I made this change of sport management and realized that coaching volleyball is just my element and it's what I always enjoyed, it's something that's been a big part of my life. And when I went to grad school at Indiana University of Pennsylvania, I got the opportunity to assist my dad as he was the head coach there, and being able to work with him on the more intimate level and be able to see him, because that season he got coach of the year, and just learn all of the ins and outs of that. And we made an NCAA tournament run. And on a personal level, it was great just to be able to be with my dad and sharing that experience together. And on a professional, I have learned everything and who I am as a coach. People call me a mini Scott sometimes, which I take as the highest compliment, because my dad is definitely a big role model and definitely my biggest sport mentor.
No, very cool, Katie. That sounds like a really great opportunity you had that you took advantage of. Lee, how about you?
My mentor is a woman who's an AVCA Hall of Famer, Sue Gazansky. She coached at UC Riverside for 37 years. I grew up in California. When I used to go visit my family during the summer, I used to go watch her practice, and I'd see her at the coaches convention. I remember going to meet her when I was in high school, watching their games. They were, UC Riverside was a really strong Division II team, and Sue is one of the top USA cadres out there, and she's just a wonderful person.
Dennis, you're next.
I'm gonna have to say my older brother, from just going in the backyard and him telling me to put your arms here and don't move. So I'm just his target, and all the way through being his assistant at the high school level, club level, and then when he was head coach at Holy Family University, he just taught me everything as a player, as a coach. He's been with me through thick and thin and backed me the whole way. So it's been pretty awesome.
And lastly, Shelby.
Yeah, I think I have a few, but one would be my uncle. He's a college coach. He kind of mentored myself and all my cousins. He also is heavily involved in Positive Coaching Online. So it's really great to pick his brain and have someone maybe not judge me for some of my questions I ask. And then my second, I started at Cedar Crest. I was hired as an assistant a month into the position. I got hey, do you want to be the head coach? So it was a great experience. But if it wasn't for my college coach, Nicole Wentz, she really mentored me through that first year. Well, still today, but she's connected me to a lot of different people in the volleyball world. So.
All right. Well, awesome. Thank you all for all of your responses so far. We did have one social media question to ask that you guys haven't had time to prepare for, but is certainly open to any of you to respond to. So feel free to jump in. But our social media question is, what current volleyball rule would you change if you could? Or is there an old rule that you wish the sport would bring back?
Yeah,
Any thoughts there?
I'm not a fan of the libero rules, like the color of the jersey. It's not a big deal. So I would change that, but no significant rule change has really bothered me.
I second that.
Yeah. I'll third. Can we pass the motion to change that?
CSAC proposal. We'll send it to the AVCA.
There you go.
Anybody else have any rules that they would change or rules that they wish we could bring back? All right, well, no worries. Thank you for all of your responses tonight. That will conclude our CSAC Women's Volleyball Fireside Chat for tonight. I want to thank our moderator, Wes Uffelman. I want to thank all of our coaches for participating tonight. And most importantly, thank you, the fans, for tuning in on the CSAC Facebook page to watch our Fireside Chat tonight. I want to remind everyone to please mark your calendars or put a reminder in your phone for the CSAC's next Raise Your Game program, which is going to be a live student athlete town hall coming up on Wednesday, December 9th at 7 p.m. So hopefully we get a lot of participation there from the student athletes in the conference. And if you've missed any of our programs so far this semester or any of our coaches' chats, please feel free to visit our website at csacsports.org/raiseyourgame and click on any of the links on the calendar for our events that we've conducted so far this semester. And please be sure to follow the CSAC on social media with the handle at CSAC Sports and the hashtag Raise Your Game for all the details about our programming. So thanks again to everyone for joining us tonight. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.